What's up, Dora? It's your boy Tommy Mal. I just came in because I want to speak about the Warriors and the Lakers. As I spoke yesterday, came to fruition exactly what I believed. I said everything I said. Like I said, half of these things that I say, people would assume that I'm saying it after the game because a lot of stuff I say ends up showing proof. And what I said was, they don't guide the people. I said if they put Looney on him, he's gonna be in foul trouble. If they put Draymond on him, he's gonna be in foul trouble because they just don't have the people to throw at him. And I said the Lakers have a myriad of perimeter players they can throw at Steph Curry. Right? They only have Brandon Wiggins, and Brandon Wiggins got to guard LeBron. And if Brandon Wiggins is guarding LeBron, then who's guarding D'Lo? Who's guarding Schroeder? Who's guarding Austin Reeves? Who guard? I said Clay can slow down Austin Reeves. I said, but Draymond is a liability in the paint. And Looney is literally just a rebounder. He can't protect the rim, and all he can really do is get rebounds. So you sit there and you look at it, it's like, and he's not getting the rebounds are not the same rebounds that they need when it counts. I'm gonna be 100% honest. From the beginning of that game, I never thought the Warriors were gonna win that game. Even when they were hitting threes, I was just like, if you're hitting threes like that and you look around and they're hitting, I think they outshot the Lakers in threes, something like 26-5. Like they made like 20 more 3-point shots than the Lakers. And they still lost. So if you can't come out, you can't, if you're the Warriors, you can't play a better game than you play. Right? Name somebody that they needed that was off. None of them were off. They played their best game. And this is the thing that I don't think a lot of people will pay attention to. They be like, well, the Lakers, because people love to poke out the flaws in LeBron more than to focus on the actual nuts and bolts of what was happening. Brandon Wiggins is their best defender. They kept him on LeBron all night. That's why D'Lo went off. That's why Schroeder went off. That's why they were just freaking express card to the lane, because they had to put two people on Anthony Davis. Because Draymond can't guard Anthony Davis by himself. And if he comes out of the paint, it's an expressway all day. So if Anthony Davis comes out, Draymond Green has to come out. And it's like, well, they'll play zone. I'm like, right. The zone only worked because AD was tired and LeBron was playing point. The zone will not work when LeBron can just go back somebody in the paint, call for the ball, and now you got a 6'9", 260-pound player on Clay, or a 6'9", 260-pound player on Steph. That is not going to work. So it's like, that's why people like Kenny Smith trip me out, because Kenny Smith was a shooter, right? People assume because someone plays a sport that they somehow understand it better, right? And the truth of the matter is, when you play a sport, you tend to focus on what you do. You don't tend to focus on what other people do, right? Like, I can tell you everything that it is to know about a wide receiver, quarterback, running back, the positions I played. But the positions I didn't play, I couldn't tell you that. If my life depended, I couldn't tell you how to play offensive line. I never played it. I couldn't tell you how to play defensive line. I never played it. I can't tell you how to play. I played linebacker a little bit when I was younger, but it wasn't to the advanced linebacker that you play in high school and college. I never played that. So I can't tell you how to play those positions. So if someone asks me how to construct a defense, I can tell you the hell out of how to construct zone coverages and safeties, and with the safeties and the corners. On offense, I can tell you how to do check downs and run the route tree and all these things. Where the quarterback's supposed to place the ball, how the receiver's supposed to stack. I can tell you all those things because I played wide receiver. I can tell you about protections and sliding protections and moving and the 2-hole, 4-hole, 6-hole, or ISO. I can tell you all those things because I played running back. I cannot tell you anything about playing center. I couldn't tell you anything about playing tackle or guard or tight end. I don't know those positions I didn't play. So if I'm gonna, so imagine if someone says, "Well, how are they gonna win using this?" And a lot of times, a lot of these guys who play, they don't understand all the positions. Especially someone like a Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith said something last night, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever. He's like, "Well, it's very easy. They need to play zone more." Yeah, that's easy for you to say. That's the reason they didn't play zone all game. Because if they played zone all game, they would have got destroyed. So their mindset is, well, they can play zone, and then if they throw it into Andy Davis, they can double down. That only works if LeBron is playing point guard. The minute D'Lo gets in, like what happened at the end of the game, the minute D'Lo gets in, now you got another ball handler, or they give the ball. You got another ball handler. You got Austin Reeves, who's probably going to win, 7 out of 10 matchups down the field. LeBron is going to win 9 out of 10 matchups down the field. Schroeder is probably going to win 7 to 10 matchups on the field when he's going against Steph Curry and Jordan Poole. I'm sorry. I've said this before the game. They have to give up offense for defense, and they got to give up defense for offense. They can't have both on the field. If they keep Jordan Poole on the court, they're going to get massacred because he cannot guard anybody, and you can't play him alongside Steph without giving up massive amounts of points. That's why last night I knew it wasn't going to work because I was like, they're working way harder to get their points than the Lakers are getting, because that's what I pay attention to. What is sustainable, right? The Lakers were working, the Warriors were working way harder to get their points than the Lakers were to getting theirs, and there's a reason for that. It's like, well, they're tired of teams. Well, they tire themselves out too. And it's not like, and all you can do, they're like, well, they kind of made Anthony Davis. Well, they did that, and it made a huge effect. It took a Herculean effort for the Warriors to hit a 3-pointer. They had to make like 4 or 5 3-pointers in a row, and they weren't easy 3-pointers. They were hard contest 3-pointers. Outside, I think maybe that Clay play and the Jordan Poole play, and those were all off of rebounds, taps. So it's not like they didn't even make it. So if AD ends up with those rebounds, half of those 3-point shots they didn't. Brandon Wiggins was scrappy, and he fought and he did what he did. But do you think Brandon Wiggins is winning a lot of plays with Anthony Davis? You think he's getting more winning those rebounds most of the time? No. They outworked him because Anthony Davis was a little gassed at the end. LeBron was a little gassed. But at the end of the day, they got the W because they're just a better team. The Warriors can shoot, and that's all they can do. And Draymond Green got attacked, and he's going to probably end up getting kicked out. He has absolutely no emotional control sometimes. And it's like, bro, it's such an obvious foul. You know what I'm saying? Pick your battles. And regardless, you know what I'm saying? I think Draymond Green is a legend. But, bro, you got to pick your battle. So you can't be arguing over obvious fouls, saying the man pushed you, and you see on the replay, this man ain't touch you. I'm not saying that I think Draymond truly believes this, but it's ridiculous. It's like you look at the like he gonna go back, he gonna look at that screen, and he gonna feel stupid. Because Schroeder didn't touch him. He did that. That was all him. And I think in his mind, he thought Schroeder was going to push him in the back, and Schroeder didn't. So when he did it, it was more of a reflex of thinking he was going to get pushed. And then he did this and said that Schroeder pushed him. He's like, no, he didn't push you. You look at the tape, Schroeder, if Schroeder touched him, it was faint at most. And you literally just jumped up and grabbed Anthony Davis when he was going around you. And I ain't talking about how many times. Towards the end of the game, that dude should have got called for a foul like 3 times. On Anthony Davis. He's down low. Anthony Davis is going up, and he's sliding under Anthony Davis as he's going up. He did this 3 or 4 times in the last stretch, and they let him get away with it. And I think that's why Draymond does what he does. He knows that if he argues and yells, it's hard for them to call because they don't want to hear him. So 90% of the time they just don't call it. But he knows if they call that it takes a very, very stern, no bullshit ref to just call him anyways. So he gets away with it by yelling and screaming at the referee, to where the referee is hesitant about calling anything on him because he doesn't want to go through the drama. So if something is 50-50, they're going to give Draymond Green the benefit of the doubt because they don't want to hear his mouth. And I think that's crafty veteran ship because they're saying that he got a tech, but Draymond's smart enough to understand at least this much. If my team needs a kick in the butt, defensively I need a little more of an edge to be able to play the way that I want to play. I'll get the tech, but in the end, if I put enough fear in the referee's heart about calling a call that is obvious, then if he calls, he's going to be less likely to call a call that is a little less ambiguous. Like there's more ambiguity there. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't tell, so I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because I want to hear his mouth. And I think that's veteranship, but it's also, you know what I'm saying, it helped. I mean, and then later on, it helping them down the stretch because he was fouling Anthony Davis on a lot of those plays, and he was fouling on a lot of other plays. But the problem with the Warriors don't begin starting in with Draymond Green. They start and end with the fact that they really don't have a big man who can protect. They would have loved to have James Wiseman right now, and they gave him away for nothing. And to me, defensively, Draymond, James Wiseman, they could have threw James Wiseman in there. I thought you would, and he may not be as smart as Looney, but he's also not as old as Looney. So to me, I thought it was a dumb move to get rid of James Wiseman. The guy's a top overall pick, great player, and you gave him away for nothing, and you could really use a big man right now. That small ball stuff works when you don't have, unless you play on a team that's long and big and heavy and strong as the Lakers are. I mean, they just switching in and out, and it's not missing a beat. The Lakers are hella deep. And like I said, they're not deep like the Nuggets or deep like the 76ers where you got a bunch of one-way players. Meaning players that just play offense and can't play defense. No, you have a bench that they're not, when they switch and they rotate, do their rotations, defensively, they're still the same exact team. They're not losing anything. You take LeBron out and you put Rui Hachimura in, good luck. You know what I mean? You take Austin Reeves in, you put in Dennis Schroeder. Good luck. Dennis Schroeder is not the best point guard. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he had a hard time finding times on the Celtics and the Hawks. But on the Lakers, all he has to do is play defense and score. They're not putting him in there to run the point. They're putting him in there to score and to guard and to play defense. More so to play defense. But he's a good offensive player that can also lock you up on defense. Same with Austin Reeves, right? D'Lo is not a lockdown defender, but he's a smart defender. You rarely gonna find D'Lo out of position, right? And he's still gonna drop. He still can drop 20 on you. You know what I'm saying? With 10 shots. So it's like you sitting there watching that team, and they're just so deep. And they just keep switching in. They do remind me of their championship season a couple years ago when they had Kyle Kuzma and what's his name, Horton Tucker and THT and Caldwell Pope and all those guys. And Caruso, and that's who they remind me of. They look like the same team they were then, which is lockdown defensively, and you got guys who can play both ways, and that's exactly what they have. Looks like they have to me, except they didn't have someone. They didn't have the size that they have now with Troy Brown and it's like, well, Lonnie Walker's not playing, and against the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't know what Lonnie Walker would have been. I love Lonnie Walker as a player, but to me, stylistically, you're gonna roll with what's been working, and Lonnie Walker, as good as he is offensively, he was hurt a lot, and he kind of shot himself in the foot. Lonnie Walker probably would have been in the rotation, but it's like every other week he had some type of injury where he wouldn't be able to play, and I think the Lakers just got tired of it after a while. This is like, forget it, you're just undependable, and then he just kind of fell out of rotation, and now everybody every 2 seconds asking, well, where is he? But realistically, they can't be playing Anthony Davis as many minutes as they played him. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? You don't rob Peter or pay Paul. If you can't stagger the minutes better than that with Mo Bamba and William Gabriel, then that's on you. But you got to be able to stagger your minutes better than that. You don't want to burn AD out. Not to mention the risk of injury, because he's injury prone to begin with. So, you know what I mean? It's just not, it's not smart. Let AD play his minutes. You know what I'm saying? Deal with the fallout if they lose, if y'all don't lose. But you can't be overplaying him and overextending the man minutes. Give him his rest. Let him play. Let him get his rest. And as far as the rest of the William Gabriel, Mo Bambas, you can find 2 or 3 minutes for him here or there where Anthony Davis can get some rest. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't think Mo Bamba is that bad of is a bad player, and I think he's a very good rim protector, and I think he could do a good job if given opportunity. William Gabriel is also a person that can. If you don't want to trust Mo Bamba for a lot of minutes, fine, but trust William Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta find some resting minutes for AD. I mean, he looked gassed at the end of that game, and it almost cost him the game. Vanderbilt, like I said, the Lakers were terrible 3-point shooting last night. I mean, they were horrible, and they still won by 5, and for the most part they were leading by 14 in the fourth quarter. So to me it just comes off as the Warriors put up a valiant fight, because I told you they got the heart of champions. They're not gonna give in. They're going to fight, and they're going to scrap, and they're going to fight because they got championship pedigree. But as far as the talent guy, the X's and O's, if you think that Jordan Poole is not going to have an off night based on how he's been playing, I don't buy that. He's going to have an off night. He's going to have a night. And like I said, you're not going to be able to play better than you played tonight. Like I said, when you're talking about a feel-out game where you're trying to figure out what the other what the other team is doing to slow us down, the Lakers didn't really do anything to stop their players from doing. Clay had a pretty good game. Jordan Poole had a really good game. Steph had a really good game. Hell, and that's the case. What more can you ask for? Wiggins had a pretty good game. It's like, what can you ask for in that situation? What are you going? Who do you want to do better in the next game? That's not going to take away from someone else doing better. I mean, they played a good game, but at the end of the day, they lost because they just don't have the horses, and they're not deep. So the minute you take Draymond Green off the court, I mean, like I said, Looney just cannot guard the perimeter. And he's not, like I said before, it's not the Kings. He's not going to be able to just stand under the basket, and that the Lakers are going to get low. They're going to get low on their pick and rolls and just kill them with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. If y'all try to go into a zone, they're going to put Rui Hachimura in and LeBron, and they're going to just start throwing the ball inside. They're gonna mix it up until they got Jordan Poole. They got 2 huge liabilities. 3 if you add Clay. When you talk about size on the block. So and the other 2 can't shoot. So you can put that lineup of Poole, Clay, Draymond, Looney, and Steph. But at the end of the day, those you got, like I said, Clay is not the defender he used to be. So now you got close to 3 liabilities, and you're playing against LeBron, AD, who are 2 of the top 5 players in the league, and you putting them on the floor with Looney, who's undersized, and Draymond, who's a beast, but he's undersized as well. So you like, okay, well, Draymond can't guard LeBron and AD, and Looney can't guard either one of those players one-on-one. All he can do is box out and get rebounds, but that's not going to work when you got other guys who can just parade to the rim like they were doing last night. So what do I think is going to change in game 2? Like I said, when you live by the 3, you die by the 3. If they can get hot enough on 3 and they can play a little better defense, which I seriously doubt they will because they don't have the gun. Could they have they almost stole this game, right? Could the same situation comes out where the Lakers are coasting and they start hitting threes and they shorten that distance and then end up, unlike the day, getting the thing that they need to get it. Yes, but as I said before, that's not. I think the Lakers are going to win. I think the Lakers, if the Lakers lose game 1, they'll win game 2. If they lose game 2, they'll win game 1. I think they'll win one of these, and I think that they're going to win, and it'll probably be over in 5 games. I said at most maybe their championship they can get one more, and they can take it to a 6-game series, but they just don't got. And it's the same thing. Like I said, the same thing when the Lakers play the Nuggets. It's the same situation. You cannot put Bruce Brown in with to guard somebody on the Lakers. He's not going to be able to guard a big, right? Eric Gordon's good, but he can't guard. He can't guard AD, and he can't guard LeBron. If you try to guard LeBron gonna take him out on the rim and blow by him and get him in foul trouble. If he tries to stay on AD, he'll be in foul trouble by halftime. Same thing. Jokic is not fast enough. They can't switch with that lineup of Gordon and Jokic. Jamal Murray is a liability, which is why he struggled, because you can tell the Suns like, okay, well, let's make him work on defense. So they made him work on defense, and he was gassed on offense. MPJ comes and goes. Jokic had a good game that way, but he's not going to have that type of game against AD. AD is not 8. So when you look at that scenario, it's like, yeah, I just don't think they got the horses anywhere. The closest thing that I can probably say that probably would give the Lakers another problem are probably the Knicks. You know what I mean? Because they're great defensively, and they remind me more of Memphis Grizzlies. I said that before. The hardest test the Lakers I felt were going to have was going to be against Memphis. But the 76ers, they have Joel Embiid, but they don't have a backup center. And Joel Embiid can't be guarding AD. AD is going to be focused on. I think AD can guard Joel Embiid. I mean, guard better than Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid can't guard anybody on the perimeter. He just can't. He's just not. He's too slow-footed. AD can't. So the Lakers can switch way more than the 76ers can, especially when you consider the 76ers have Harden on the court, who's way more of a liability defensively than anybody on the Lakers. Right? Tobias Harris is a liability on the perimeter. They don't have a lot of great perimeter defenders. So my point is saying not to say the 76ers are a bad defensive team. There's a lot of holes. Just like the Warriors aren't a bad defensive team. there just is a lot of holes schematically that I think that I don't really believe they can cover. They can cover up. And if you look at that, you know what I'm saying? Just plainly, it on paper, the Lakers are the best team. I mean, when we look at the film, the Lakers are the best team left. And and as far as competition goes, I just don't see them getting not having the edge in most of their matchups if Darvin Ham doesn't F it up like he did last night by pulling Vanderbilt and letting Steph get hot. But Steph is hot and cold. He'll have games. Last night, I think he scored 29 or 24 shots. So it's like, I'll take that. You know what I mean? LeBron also scored something like 23 or 24 on 19 or 20 shots. But you can live with that, you know what I'm saying, with LeBron and AD. Because their shots are going to be way more easy and more consistently they're gonna drop. Because LeBron is being guarded by the top player on y'all. LeBron and AD are being guarded by the top players on your defense. I mean, on y'all team. But Brandon Wiggins is going to be giving up way more energy, and y'all need him offensively. Vanderbilt can give up his energy because they don't need him on offense. All he has to do is stand over in the corner and wait on the team to sag off him and shoot. Defensively is where they have him in, and he can focus all his energy on guarding Steph. Same thing with Schroeder. Everything Schroeder gives you is a bonus. Anything Vanderbilt gives you is a bonus. Anything Troy Brown gives you is a bonus. So when you're sitting there and you're watching these games, it's like, okay, this doesn't look like the Lakers are ever going to be in trouble. When I'm watching that game, it's like the Lakers will come back. When they got up to like a 6-point lead after they make the point, it's like they're working so hard to get these shots. It's not going. I was like, people don't pay attention. Analytics is some BS, and I co-sign that. But one thing that is true is percentages tend to thin out. I mean, tend to average out as the game pours on. Meaning, if you shoot a bunch of threes, you're probably gonna meet your max. You might hit 50 some games, but 50 means you made half the shots that you shot at. But for the most part, when you're really hot, you might be making half of those shots. When you're at your lower tier, you're probably closer to 40%, just below it. So if that's the case, that means that out of the 10 shots you shooting up, 6 of them you're not making. That seems to bear out and average out over time. So now, as the Lakers are getting these high percentage shots, you're getting these low percentage shots. There's going to be a point where you're going to be missing a lot and they're going to be making a lot. And that's when the Lakers went on a stretch. And just like you, they can hit threes too if they need to, right? I mean, law averages says they're going to make some threes at some point too. So what happened? The minute the Lakers start making threes, it was done. So what do you think is going to happen when D'Lo has one of those games where he can't miss, and Austin Reeves has one of those games where he can't miss, and LeBron has one of those games, or AD has one of those games where they can't miss? Dennis Schroeder had one of those games last night. If you sit there and you watching these games, I'm telling you, as a fan of basketball, the Lakers defense is it's crazy good. When you playing the Warriors and they can't get threes up, or you can't get threes up, they can't attack the rim. The Warriors look completely flummoxed. Then they're like, okay, just give it to Steph and move the hell out of the way. And Steph is a champion. Steph is a legend. He's going to do what Steph does. But at the end of the day, Steph doing what he does is not going to make him a better defender, because that's not what Steph does. He is not a great defender. He is not a player that you can rely on who's going to make those plays work. not work. So what are you doing with Steph outside of it? Okay, he can get his points. Well, we'll just give it to Steph. We just go bear out. He'll hit two. He might hit two. He might hit 2 or 3 in a row, but he's going to miss. It's the law of averages. He's shooting a very high percentage shot. Law of averages, he's not going to make all those shots. And if you need him to make all those shots, it's going to be a problem. Jordan Poole, you can shoot those. When he shot that last one, nobody in that stadium thought that ball was going in. Nobody thought it was going in. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? He could have at least got another 2 or 3 steps. You know, dribble took some rhythm dribble and stepped into a shot and probably had a better chance of making that shot. But the Lakers' defense is so good that he knew the minute he did that, they were going to swarm. So that's the thing that and some of those shots Jordan Poole was making, he will not make those consistently. I mean, this guy a lot of time wasn't even looking at the ball. Like he just wasn't even looking at the rim. He catches and just launching it. And it's like he was getting lucky. It's like, do you think he's going to make those shots consistently? No, it's bared out. Well, he couldn't hit them no more because they were incredibly high difficulty shots, low percentage shots, while the Lakers were just banging them inside with high percentage shots and going to the rim at will. Expressway. Because Draymond, as good as he is, he cannot guard the perimeter and guard the rim. One, he's 6'8". He's gonna get in foul trouble if he keeps trying to help off and step and protect the rim when they already got a big in Looney who cannot. But Looney's terrible. He's a below the rim rebounder who cannot protect the rim. Who's slow of foot. So you're like, okay, well, what do you want? What do you want the Warriors really do? You know, you probably shouldn't have traded James Wiseman. James Wiseman had Defensive Player of the Year skill set, talent. They underutilized him because they like to play small, and I think they really messed that guy's career up. I think he's a good player. Yes, he had his ACL, but before since he came back, they weren't playing him, and before he left, they weren't really they were trying to bring him into the system, and I think that year he was out, they kind of lost. But the Lakers are winning because because they had the Warriors more focused on playing defense than they were on playing offense. And as long as they do that, the Lakers are fine. Because you can't play defense as well as we do. You can play defense well, but well is not going to stop LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, D'Lo, all these guys from getting their buckets. They're just not. And that's just pretty much my belief on it. As far as the Suns and the Nuggets go, I said it yesterday, I said it again. I think the Suns will get this game and right the ship like they did against the Clippers. But then again, they didn't look great against the Clippers. So I mean, until the later stages of it, and even then, they didn't look outstanding. I mean, Russell Westbrook was competing with just him by himself. Once again, like I said, he said yesterday, DeAndre Ayton needs to play his game. He needs to play a game. And he ain't got his game is garbage, but play a game. You know what I mean? Like, bro, play a game. Go out there, compete, attack players in the air, force them to put the ball on the ground, use your athleticism to make it harder on the Nuggets. Don't stand there and watch, or when someone attacks, just put your hands up. Like that drives me crazy. Anyways, please comment. Let me know what y'all think. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and comment and thumbs it up when you get the opportunity if you like what's going on. And let me know what you think down low. All right, y'all. Peace.